everybody, welcome back to Property Tribes TV. And I'm delighted to once again be joined by the co-founder of the Landlord Investment Shows, Tracey Hanbury. And Tracey, lovely to see you again. And we last spoke just prior to the summer London show, which I believe was one of your biggest ever. But we're now going to talk about the autumn London show on the 29th of October. And that's shaping up to be literally your biggest ever show.
Yeah, it was. London was, summer was insane and highest registrations ever. And literally, we had queues of people, trying to get in. So, how do you beat that? But there's so much to cover for landlords at the moment. So, I think the 29th of October show is going to be even bigger, even better, and even more content. So, looking forward to it.
So give us an idea of the scale of the London show in terms of the number of people you're expecting, how many exhibitors you have.
For the 29th of October, I would anticipate we will have 3,500 landlords that will come to that event.
Wow.
And that is, registrations are at an all-time high with 2 weeks to go at the moment. In terms of exhibitors, I think there's around sort of 80 plus exhibitors with more, literally a handful of stands at this moment in time. In terms of content, we have got over 50 speakers that are speaking that day, but we've also got the huge panel debate in the morning. Then we have our training, our free training for our landlords on the Renters' Rights Bill, soon to become Act. We've got a masterclass on making tax digital with HMRC and Hammock. So there is literally so much going on for everybody that day. It will be, one definitely not to miss with everything covered in it as we possibly can, as much.
Well, let's unpack the training a little bit more because you mentioned that there are three training sessions, and we do need to point out that the show is free to attend. And typically, we know that property education can be quite expensive, but this is a free day with three training sessions that are actually very practical with information that landlords need right now that they need to act on right now. So could you just talk us through those three training sessions?
Yeah, of course. So we decided to put three high quality sort of training sessions in there. Obviously, there's been so much talk about renters' rights, bill soon to become act, and it's, what it's coming and what do you actually need to do. So we've really broken down into three sessions and Suzanne Smith, Suzanne in the morning is starting the first training session on what the new assured tenancy system means in practice. So, an amazing overview and breaking down that in some detail. The second part of the training course throughout the day is actually being delivered by David Smith. And that's on really how evictions will change. So, all of the legal elements, breaking that down, including abolition of Section 21, tips for landlords on navigating Section 8, case studies, and, literally breaking down the legal details to say, okay, this is it, and this is what you need to do. So David Smith is leading that for us. And then the third part of the renters' rights training is going to be delivered by Susie Corolla from the Guild of Letting Management. And Susie's really delving into sort of the new landlord obligations and penalties, implementation and preparation. So we've broken it down to those three sort of sessions to try and cover, there's a lot in there, but it's really kind of breaking it down with practical information, and also people have the opportunity to, we'll be giving them some information to take away that they need to, how to really get ready for this. There's no time, don't wait. It's happening. Let's get ahead, try and get ahead of it a little bit. So that's the three main training sessions on the Renters' Rights Bill, soon to become Act, that
Mhm.
we've put in. Yeah.
And also, you've got a session on making tax digital, which is coming into effect next April. And I'm so glad that you're including this because I think this is a bit of something that has been maybe not as high profile as perhaps it needs to be in terms of landlords preparing. That's got actually HMRC attending. So I'm guessing that landlords can get their questions answered as well during that session.
Absolutely. So we've got a 1 hour masterclass on making tax digital. Again, breaking that down. What do you need to do? What software do you need? And I think, yeah, we've got what, 6 months, haven't we, around about. So
That's going to
again,
go like that.
oh, it will. I mean, it will go extremely quickly. You know, we've got Hammock, who's going to be on that panel, who are leading that panel, who are the developers of the software that's HMRC compliant. We've got somebody from the HMRC Making Tax Digital team that will be talking about that in detail. And we've also got an accountant that's, will be able to sort of share information as well on how to put all of this together. And it will be a sort of Q&A at the end. And again, we will have full resources and information for those that attend in a guide that will be sent to them once they've attended on that day. So again, almost a checklist, a guide. You know, they can listen to what they need to hear, take their notes, but we'll also send them out some detail as well.
I think that's incredible. And what I like about the theme of this show is there has been so much uncertainty for landlords. What I feel that you're going to achieve with this show is you're going to turn uncertainty into certainty. And that is so valuable to any business person to fully understand their business, what their legal requirements are. And I think by understanding it and hearing from experts like Suzanne Smith that you mentioned, David Smith, you mentioned, no relation. These are the top people in the fields, and to hear from them, I think it can actually go a long way to take away some of the fear as well that landlords are kind of experiencing through uncertainty. But one way to deal with fear and uncertainty is to try and get some kind of certainty. So I feel that those training sessions and the Making Tax Digital session, they're going to go a long way towards that. Don't you agree?
Oh, 100%. I mean, there's so much information, and I think that's where, people have been just overwhelmed. And, landlords that I speak to on a daily, it's like, well, what do I need to do? So, we've listened to our subscribers, and it's actually breaking it down and making it practical. And this is, we'll get through it. But this is the steps that you need to take, and that's exactly what we've done here is to deliver that and to give people, something to work towards and just know what they've actually got to do because there's so much noise everywhere. But once I'm quite a practical person, give me the list and sometimes it's overwhelming, but if I know what I'm doing, what's expected of me, I can get on with it. And I think that's exactly what landlords, and they need to be doing this to be compliant. And obviously, if they don't, penalties will come in and it will be costly. So we want to avoid all of that and make sure people are really kind of got to grips with all of this. Absolutely.
I can't stress how important it is to get the information from a reputable source as well, because we've seen the advent of AI videos, and I see a lot of them, and they give false information, to be honest. And people actually don't know that it's an AI generated video, and they're, taking this information in when it could set them down the wrong path. And so I think, to come and see the experts in the field and hear direct from them, reputable, trusted sources is so vital. But also, I like the aspect of as well that you're with other fellow landlords who are in the same boat as you. And I think there's so much to be said for the networking element of your event as well, that landlords can talk to each other, they can share stories, they can share strategies, they can support one another. That's a big part of the event as well, isn't it?
Oh, massively. I mean, it's coming out and meeting people that are in the same situation and actually what one person might be doing, the other person hasn't thought about. And it's the power of that connection and strengthening that network. You've always said sort of, together we are stronger, and that is very much your mission statement. And that is what the show does. It brings, that community, and, we are a community together to, to support each other. So, you don't get access to these, these experts, so it's such a great opportunity to have that, and then have the opportunity to meet and strengthen your network as well, without a doubt.
The Landlord Investment Show is famed also for your panel debates. And you've got panel debates this time as well, haven't you? They are very, very popular with the attendees. What topics are you going to be covering in the panel debates?
Yeah, sure. So the sort of theme of the show really for this one was navigating change and the future for UK landlords. So we've got Ian Collins who hosts that. Is starting slightly earlier this time at 9:45 till 10:45. And really on that panel we've got Kate Faulkner who will be looking at, what's the outlook looking like for 2026, and on the politics side, on the economic sides, we've got ex-housing minister Eddie Hughes, which will be kind of talking about touching on the renters' rights bill. We've got Alison Thompson from LRG, kind of looking at, where's maybe the best areas to sort of invest, and what landlords should be looking for. So it's really strategies, it's looking into the future, it's the budget, it's the finance side, it's the economic side, really, touching on all those subjects that are going to affect landlords, and making tax digital. So it's almost a little snippet of what's happening throughout the whole show, into that morning, so we can get that day going to people have got a feel for what they're sort of planning for 2026 and beyond, really.
Well, we know Kate is a wonderful commentator and she is so incredibly knowledgeable. She's like a Wikipedia of property and private renting, and she always finds the positive angles in everything. She can always see opportunity. So it's great that she's going to be there. I guess finally, as we close this out, timing wise, we are kind of tailing down to Christmas now. Maybe we're taking our foot off the pedal a little bit. I think this is a great time for this event because it gives us a chance to take on board all this important information and intel and then process it and be ready in 2026 when these changes start to kick in. So it's a great time to come along, have a free day of training with top industry experts and kind of set yourself up for the new year, isn't it?
Oh, 100%. That's exactly it. And with so much that you've got to be ready for, there's no, you've got to act now and get your ducks in a row, so to speak, and be prepared, and use this time, and, use it wisely so you're not caught out and you've got as much resource as you possibly can. So 100%. And I think it will be our 97th show, can you
Wow.
believe? So, it's been a
And the
massive,
biggest ever yet. And
yeah.
that really excites me because I think with our sector being in so much turmoil and uncertainty, I feel that a lot of people, probably including myself, are kind of sitting on their hands and maybe battening down the hatches a little bit and not really taking too much action, just sitting back and waiting to see what happens. But we can't do that really. We have to keep learning and growing and moving forward. So I'm very excited that you've got the biggest ever attendance. That's just an incredible achievement, Tracey. I tip my hat to you. Is there any other show highlights you just wanted to mention?
There's so much going on the day. I mean, for the full list of seminars, I mean, we have got Kate is also running her own seminar, and we'll be going quite into detail on the forecast of 2026. So that is definitely one to, when you're getting your planning hats on, for next year, because Kate delivers a lot of, sort of reports for us and forecasts, and she'll also be providing the latest London sort of forecasts as well. What we're trying to do is obviously the shows are so important to get out and obviously get that information while it's happening. But then we want to keep in touch with people all throughout, the year and continue with the content that's going to help them. I mean, this is definitely a day for the diary, and this is a show not to be missed in terms of things that are happening and are going to impact, and get yourself down there and get ready. And, me and the team will be looking forward to it, and wrapping up the sort of show season with the 29th of October. And then our awards on the 13th of November. Then we can breathe.
Wow. Well, congratulations on such a successful year, Tracy, and it sounds like it's going to close out on a real high. It's the 29th of October. It's the London Landlord Investment Show, the biggest one of the year at Old Billingsgate. Fantastic venue right on the river there. And we will put a link below this video to where people can get their free tickets. And thank you so much, Tracy. I wish you luck for the 29th of October. Nick and I will be there, and we'll look forward to seeing other PT members and your community members and attendees there as well. But for now, thanks very much and see you on the 29th of
See
October.
you soon. Can't wait. Take care.